The Xfinity Series once again returned to Martinsville for the second time in quite some time, and a very popular short track racer was able to win today. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching the Cookout 250 at Martinsville National Speedway, and I have to say that this race at Martinsville, while at the beginning it was a little bit sloppy with all the cautions early in the race, this race at the end of the day turned out to be a very, very awesome race to watch, and a very popular guy was able to win today. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. We started this race actually on Friday, which we concluded today on Sunday, but we started this race on Friday, and the race would be delayed for about an hour because of rain. But once we got racing, the race would start off, and Harrison Burton would start on the pole for this race, and he would actually lead the very early portions of this race. The first caution this race will come out in lap number 6 for JB for going to turn number 1. He actually would spin and wheel hop going into the corner and would spin out, bringing out the first caution of the race. We then go back racing on lap 11 into this race, and then AJ Allmendinger would have an issue on the restart. A bolt came loose on the splitter, and it caused him to basically bounce back up and down. It looked like he had a tire going down. He would come down pit road. And then basically Fox Sports apparently lost the feed. I don't know if a lightning strike hit the TV compound or whatever. But basically Fox Sports basically lost the feed of the race. And then they came back and basically apologized for that. We lost like 10 laps of the race. But really not much happened up to this point. And they would come back and then they would bring the competition caution out in the race and then go back to commercial. We then go back racing on lap 33 of this race. And we would stay at green pretty much for the next portion of this event. And the second caution, this is the third caution race, would come out for the 99.7 Parsons. It looked like the Tommy Joe Mars might have got into the back of him, but if you actually take a look at it, he actually kind of blocked Tommy Joe Mars a little bit, and he would spin out in the corner, and then BJ McLeod, his team owner, would basically say, nope, that's your fault, but a lot of team owners basically call out their drivers when they're the ones who overall make the mistakes. That's just my opinion on that. We would then go racing for a few more laps, and then the next caution this race will come out on lap 51 for Michael Annett. I think he also wheel hop as well, and he would bring out the fourth caution of this race. Meanwhile, pit stops actually happened at this time, and Noah Gragson was able to basically take the race lead, and he would actually go on to win stage 1, as the final caution in the first stage would come out basically for a multi-car accident. Bradley Hurst, I think, would get into the run into back, I think it was by Alex LeBay, if I'm not mistaken, and a couple other guys would get involved. Tommy Joe Martins, the 2 Maya Sider, and the 0-2 Brett Moffitt would also get involved in that crash. We then would finish stage 1. We go back racing for quite some time with the guys that did not pit during that first caution. They would basically come down pit road. Brett Moffitt actually would be the race leader on the ensuing restart. Then Brandon Jones was able to pass Brett Moffitt for a few more laps. And then a very good battle would happen between Josh Berry and Brandon Jones for about a 30-lap stretch. Josh Berry was able to take the lead about 7 laps later once Brandon Jones got by him. And then Brandon Jones would take the race lead. And unfortunately, the caution would come out for rain, and we were 30 laps short of basically this race being official, which is a great shame because we were seeing a very, very fantastic battle between Josh Berry and Brandon Jones with the tires basically being used up at this point. That would bring out the caution, and then unfortunately NASCAR tried to get the track drive to get the race back going, and then unfortunately rain would come in once again, and unfortunately the race would be over till Sunday. We would then return to the race on lap 97 of the point. We go green for a couple of 15 laps in the run, and then 92 Josh Williams, who had a flat tire in contact from the 2 Maya Snyder, he would bring the caution out intentionally, and because he basically spun out in purpose, he would get held for 1 lap on pit road. That would bring out the first caution of the day. We would then go back racing for a few more laps, and then coming to the line at stage number 2, Daniel Hemrick would actually end up winning stage 2 of this race, with Noah Gragson finishing second, third place being the 10 of Jeb Burton, and a bunch of other guys would be able to get stage points as well. We would then go back racing on lap 132 of this race, and we stay green for about 8 more laps in a run, with Tommy Joe Martins actually leading a few laps, and then Josh Berry was able to pass him, and he would actually dominate the next portion of this race up to this point. The next caution of the race, though, would come out for the 15 and 47 incident. There had been some contact between Kyle Weatherman and Colby Howard. Basically, I think there had been some contact between those two up to this point, and then Kyle Weatherman probably had enough out of it, basically vickered him and turned him basically into the outside wall and basically took him out of contention. Colby Howard was definitely not happy, and I think he was looking for Kyle Weatherman up to that point. We would then go back racing for about 10 more laps in a run, and then Brandon Dovick would have some contact from Jeremy Clements. He would wheel hop and spin into the outside wall, bringing out the caution up to this point. We then go back racing for about 17 laps, and with around 74 laps to go in this race, there would be a crash between the 07 and the 24. It looked like Blaine Perkins might have got loose something. I don't remember exactly what happened, but they both basically crashed, and this would hurt their shot. Joe Graff Jr., meanwhile, would try to get off the racetrack, but that would not happen. go back racing with around 57 laps to go in this race, and a bunch of cars basically decided to stay out. Guys like Bailey Curry and a bunch of other guys basically stayed out. Bailey Curry would actually be the race leader up to this point. I guess they were basically saving their tires. I really don't know the situation. But up to this point, Josh Berry was able to drive his way up to the front, and he was able to get back up to the front and take the race lead. But then Ty Gibbs, who I thought was really going to be a contender most of the day, he drove his way up to the front. He was really fast all race long. He was able to drive his way up to the front and take the race lead. But Ty Gibbs' tires basically wore it off, and it was a really good battle between Ty Gibbs and Josh Berry coming to the end of this race. And then Josh Berry was able to make the pass at around 29 laps to go in this race, and he was able to hold on. And then there was basically a cat and mouse game going on between Josh Berry, Noah Gragson, and Daniel Hemrick, who was charging his way up to the front. Daniel Hemrick was back around 7th or 8th up to this point, and then Josh Berry basically Daniel Hemrick, he was starting to drive his way up to the front because he had gotten some damage earlier, but he was starting to drive his way up to the front up to this point, and he was basically looked like he was going to have a contention. If he got around Noah Gragson, I thought that Daniel Hemrick was overall going to win this race, but they were not able to pass each other, and it would basically Noah Gragson was trying to catch Josh Berry, but Josh Berry was getting through the traffic a lot better. He had not used his stuff up. He was saving his stuff just in case of caution, was able to come out. But their late caution would not come around up to that point. Actually, there was caution around 45 laps to go, but that had happened. And then they're coming to the line at the end of this race on the white flag. It looked like Noah Gragson was going to have a shot. There might have been fluid that would have come out with 4 laps to go. That did not end up happening. And coming off the final corner, Josh Berry, the late model driver who's so good at Martinsville, comes off the final corner, and he wins his first career NASCAR Xfinity Series race here at Martinsville International Speedway. I want to talk real quick about Josh Berry. Josh Berry is absolutely a very, very talented driver. I've been watching him for a very long time, and I'm very high on Josh Berry because doesn't have a lot of funding and a lot of money, but he has a lot of talent. He's done so much in Dale Jr.'s late models, and this year, Dale Jr. gave an opportunity to Josh Berry and absolutely deserved this opportunity. He was able to run 12 races this year in 2021. I am so proud of what Josh Berry was able to do today. I was so proud of him. I said, regardless of the outcome for Josh Berry, this was the best run he had. And I think he had the best car overall today. This win is going to be popular with the fans and the members as well, and the drivers as well at the track. A lot of drivers came up to congratulate him. Noah Gragson actually won the Dash for Cash today, won $100,000. Daniel Hemrick came to congratulate him. Justin Allgaier and Dale Earnhardt Jr., his boss on the phone, basically congratulating him. Josh Berry, in my opinion, deserves to go full-time. He absolutely deserves to go full-time. He's been so good so far in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He's just been so close to winning so many times in bad luck. That A-car seems like it has a curse. But there was no curse today, and Josh Berry was the man to get it done. I am so happy today that Josh Berry was able to win this race. And now let's go ahead and go into the race results of the race. So let's go ahead and talk about him. So Josh Berry wins today. Race gets first career. Congratulations, Josh Berry. Noah Gragson finished second. Best run he's had all season by far. Was able to win the first stage in the race on Friday night. Unfortunately, could not close out the deal, but the best run overall, $100,000. Can't be mad about that. Daniel Hemrick finished third, had damage on the front of the car, looked really, really strong. I thought he was going to have a chance to run down Josh Berry at the end of the race, but couldn't get by Noah Gragson, but gets a third-place run. Absolutely great run for Daniel Hemrick today. Ty Gibbs finished his fourth. I think that this kid, like Josh Berry, deserves to also be full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. This is his worst finish of the year so far, and he finished fourth. Absolutely incredible run for Ty Gibbs today. Gets a fourth-place run. Nothing negative to say about that. Ready for full-time, in my opinion. Brandon Jones finished his fifth. Brandon Jones at the night looked like he had the best car once we got farther into the race on Friday, but unfortunately because of the rain, that did not end up happening. But he gets a fifth-place run. Absolutely good run for Brandon Jones today. Austin Cindric finished his sixth. I expected a little more from Austin Cindric today, but a sixth-place run. Not a bad run for him. Harrison Burton finished his seventh. I think he got some damage on Friday night because his car overall wasn't as good as it had been in the past. But he gets a 7th-place run. Not a bad run from overall. Justin Haley finished 8th. Good run for him. Justin Allgaier finished his 9th. And then Michael Annett finished his 10th today. 11th place for Jeb Burton. 12th place for Brett Moffitt. AJ Allmendinger. Absolutely incredible comeback today from going 2 laps down early in the race to finishing 13th. Absolutely great run for AJ Allmendinger today. I apologize. There's a lawnmower going on outside right now. Jeremy Clements finished his 14th. Mike Snyder finished his 15th. Josh Williams finished 16th. 17th for Brandon Dobick. 18th for George Joyham Jr. in his NASCAR Xfinity Series debut. Saw a run for George Joyham Jr. Jay Beer finishes 19th. 20th place for Stephen Parsons. 21st for Greg Gaulding. 22nd goes to David Starr. 23rd for Ryan Seat. 24th place for J.J. Gilley. 25th for Kyle Weatherman. 26th place goes to Bailey Curry. 27th place goes to Brandon Brown. 28th goes to Matt Jeskal. 29th for Riley Herbst. Riley Herbst had a flat tire late. He was running in the top 10 a lot of his race, but unfortunately, he had a flat tire. He finishes 29th. Timmy Hill finishes 30th. Alex LeBay finished 31st. 32nd for Jesse Little. 33rd for Matt Mills. 34th for Tommy Joe Martins. It's a shame he was running in top 10 a lot of the race. He finishes 34th with a mechanical issue. Blaine Perkins finishes 35th, 36th for Jeff Earnhardt, 37th for Landon Castle, 38th for Joe Graf Jr., 39th for Colby Howard, and Ryan Vargas finishes last and in 40th place in this race. So, let's go ahead and talk about this race overall and give you my score of today's race. So, in my honest opinion, I thought that today's race at Martinsville was overall really, really solid. Yes, the beginning overall was a little bit sloppy. There were a lot of cautions early, and I like a couple cautions in my race to kind of give the restarts more interesting. But I don't like a lot of cautions at the beginning run. I want to see the race naturally play out, but when you have a lot of young, experienced drivers in Xfinity Series, you're going to have this happen. But after the first stage, this race turned out to be absolutely excellent, and we got to see a popular driver get his first career win today and a very solid finish overall. I am going today to give today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Martinsville International Speedway a 9 out of 10 race. This race is absolutely really, really solid in my opinion. One of the best races in the Xfinity Series. I think Homestead is still a better race so far this year. But I think that right now this is really a close second right now in my honest opinion. I really enjoyed today's race, and I'm all excited for the Cup Series that's going to take place here in a couple hours from now. Once again, congratulations to Josh Berry on winning his first NASCAR Xfinity Series race today at Martinsville International Speedway. And, like I said, we got a Cup Series race coming up in a couple hours, which I'm really excited to see the finish of that as well, which also got started on Saturday night, but got rained out to Sunday. So we'll be seeing a Cup race here very, very shortly. So, anyway, that is going to be for today's NASCAR race review at Martinsville for the Xfinity Series. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notifications so you get notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Links are below for that, and combo your thoughts on today's video. What are your thoughts about Josh Berry winning his first career NASCAR Xfinity Series race? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know your score of today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race down in the comments below. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great and awesome NASCAR content. Take care, everybody.